Hello, hello. I'm just coming on right away today. In fact, I don't think I even shared the link. Let me share. Give me a sec here. Let's see. Say hello if you're here. Okay, I'm just gonna pull up the comments. I'm gonna forget about sharing the link today. We're just gonna get started because I gotta go. I gotta get going today. Okay. So, hi Melissa. Let me put this over here. And Joanne. Oh, I was hoping I could open that. Okay, so I got Mod Podge here. I hope it's not dried out. It might be. No, just the top. That's disgusting. I am going to use this bottle of Mod Podge, and then I have, this is called Decoupage. I think it's kind of the same thing, and we're going to make some faux rice paper. I did this a while ago. I'll show you. I actually have some that I need to use up. But it stores very well. Alright. So this one was made out of a napkin, and you can hear how crinkly it is. And yeah, it's a lot more sturdy than just a napkin on its own, but I am going to make faux rice paper out of sewing pattern paper. And maybe I have some napkins that I might throw on as well just to show you, but this is a very simple little project. Okay, so let me go ahead and my Mod Podge is like dried around the edges, so get rid of that. So you are going to want to use either watered down white glue, you can use that, or like I have Mod Podge or like a decoupage kind of glue. Hi Lisa and Michelle. Hello. Kelsey. Okay, so yes, do I need to use a different container? I'm trying to decide how much I'm actually going to use. I have like a container that has, but it gets so dried around the edges. Is that dried completely? Yeah, maybe. So, okay, I'm just going to use this container. We're going to put some Mod Podge in there. And then I'm going to add water. So let me just get some here. I'm going to mix it up. And there's not really any perfect amount, but oops, you don't want it too watery, but you want it pretty thinned out. I don't really think that you can mess it up, to be quite honest. I say that as I'm like, maybe that's too much. We're just going to try this. Now, unfortunately, this is probably not going to be dried by the end of this video, but I'll do a little update and I can show you what it looks like. And here, I'll keep one of the pieces out that is already done in case anyone hops on and wants to know what it's like. So it's very similar to rice paper. So this one was one that I made out of a napkin, like the white part of the napkin, and I used some spray inks on it, so it's a little hard to see on camera, but it has a very wrinkly texture, obviously, and yeah, it's kind of like like baking paper. What do you call that? There's a different name for it. Kind of like wax paper, I guess. So anyways, what we are going to do, so you can use a napkin, you can use, I'm going to be using this pattern paper, sewing pattern paper. I'm going to tear a piece off. Just any kind of like thin paper, but napkins and this kind of sewing pattern paper work great. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to lay this out on my table and figure out kind of what size I'm working with, because I am going to put a layer of the glue. I think I did make this way too runny. It will work, but it's just going to take longer to dry, so now I'm just going to put more. You're going to put a layer of the glue down first. Oh, and I should have mentioned, I am working on like a plastic, I don't know, it's like a plastic sheet. I dry all of my coffee dyed papers on this, so it has like dried coffee on it, which is kind of disgusting, but it's not really that disgusting if you do this kind of project all the time. Anyways, so some kind of plastic or like plastic wrap or maybe a silicone mat. So you're going to do a layer of the glue straight onto your surface first. It probably seems kind of weird, but just make sure you get it all even. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this faux rice paper, but I am working on making some like collage journal cards like these. And if you can see, I used the sewing pattern paper in the background here. You can kind of see. But I kind of just wanted to experiment and see what it would be like if I make the faux rice paper first and then use the rice paper as my collage medium. Not medium, but you get it. Okay, so. Alright, I think that's good. Then you're going to take your napkin or sewing pattern paper, place it right on top of the glue. I just use my hands to smooth it out, but personally I like the way that the wrinkles look. It gives kind of a fun texture, so I am not too concerned. In fact, I kind of encourage any wrinkles on the paper. But then you're going to take, and I'm using just a paintbrush, you're going to take a layer of the glue and paint it on top as well. And you really want to make sure to get the edges really good so that it's all kind of sealed in. Hi Maggie, hi Vicky. How are you guys? I have my comments over here on my phone, by the way. That's why I'm looking over here. Okay. So I just try to get the edges really well. And then the entire paper. I think this is going to look really fun with the pattern paper. You can even use the final paper as like a page in a junk journal because it's definitely that sturdy that it won't rip. Whereas if you just wanted to use like sewing pattern paper, it probably wouldn't hold up for that long, you know? But you could do like a junk journal layout on top of this. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna just, since we're here and we already have this out, I am going to toss on some napkins as well. Just might as well. So I have this napkin. I already removed it was like a 2-ply napkin, and I already removed the back, so it's just the top layer. Let's see, will this fit right there? Yes, it will. Okay, so again, I'm just going to do a layer of the glue straight onto my plastic. My plastic is also very wrinkled because I reuse it for all of these messy art projects all the time. And so if you want more of a flattened rice paper look, then you'll just need to be more careful about getting those wrinkles out, but that's kind of up to your preference. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and just lay my napkin right on top of the glue. I'm trying not to overlap it onto the sewing paper, by the way. Okay, then, hi Maddie, I didn't even have time to, oh maybe I did tell you I was doing a live, I can't remember. But I was ready and I was just like, let's go, let's go. So now I'm going to do a layer of glue on top. And while these are drying, I think I'm going to work on some collaged journal cards. I also got a new wax seal stamp, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's like a spool of thread. Let's see. Hope you can see that. I should have put the link. I got it from Amazon. It's really cute. It was like $8. And since I'm working on vintage sewing theme right now, I was hoping to use that in some kind of a project, and I have an idea, so maybe we'll do that. You could totally use tissue paper. Yes, you could, Joy. That would be an awesome paper to use for this project. Let's see, I've been looking for crafters near me. Oh, like local people that you can craft with. Yeah, I don't have many local crafting friends, to be honest, myself. I always wanted to do like junk journal classes. I actually talked to a lady, she owns a plant shop, the cutest little plant shop, and she wanted to incorporate like journaling, and she was talking to me about doing some junk journal classes, like making plant diaries. Like I've made a couple journals that were all about like documenting your plant. Like if you're a plant mama like me, then you know you take lots of pictures of your plants and you like to document the growth and whatnot. So anyways, that just reminded me that I never really got back to her on that. Okay, so we could fill this whole thing up, honestly. In fact, I guess since we're here, let's just finish off with this napkin. I'll use this napkin right here. And this one, I need to take the back off of it. So the napkins should come apart pretty easy. If not, you can use a little bit of like double-sided tape and stick it on one side, and then it should pull apart pretty well. And you can use this, the white side as well, which I've done before, and then I would add spray inks, and then you can have all kinds of colors. Okay, so again, just going to spread a thin layer of this Mod Podge or white glue. Let me bring you guys back a little bit here. I think that's a little bit better. Alright, and then take our napkin. I need to add a little bit more glue at the top. So if you don't have the layer of glue on the surface before you put your tissue paper or napkin down, then it will just it won't have like the same effect. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'll show you a close-up in a second of what I mean. Because I have tried it that way. I've tried just adding glue to the top, and it's fine. It's still usable, but it's not as durable, I guess would be the word. I don't really know. Uh-oh, this one. So, okay. This happens too. Since my glue is pretty watery, I just put way too much in one spot, and it kind of tore. But what I'm going to do is try not to mess with it now. And I just make sure there's a layer of glue on top, and it will actually dry, like almost like, it'll have like a spot that, it won't be a hole, but it'll be like a little, I can't talk. It will be like a little spot of plastic, if that makes sense, because that's how this glue dries. So I'm just going to be careful around that spot, but it doesn't mean that it's broken. We can still use it. And if you're able, if it's like a little hole or tear, you can almost kind of glue it back together. Because I was very surprised when I first made this how like durable it actually becomes. But yeah, this is a very thin napkin, so I just have to be extra careful. And also, it doesn't probably help my my paintbrush. It had like dried glue on it, so it's not like the softest brush. So you could also use like a foam brush. That would probably be a little bit better, actually. Okay, let me just make sure I have the glue all over, and then we'll set this aside. I usually let it dry like overnight. It doesn't usually take that long, but it's better just to make sure that it's completely dry. I'm going to catch up on the comments in just a sec because I just don't want this to start drying until I'm done. I think I'm good though. Okay. So I'll try to show the final version of what these look like in maybe tomorrow's video, or I'll do a quick, I will do like a quick reel. So I'm just going to add the rest of this glue into this mixture, and then, because there's not very much, and then I can use it all up. Okay, there's like way more than I thought, but that's okay. We'll just put it in our container. And then when you put the lid on your container, your little glue mixture should be good for a little while. I do find that it does dry at like after a few months. Okay. Alright. I could add water and get all of it out, but I'm not going to make you sit through that. Okay, I am going to put the lid on there, although I might use this for our little collaging project. So, okay, let me catch up on some of the comments real fast. Lisa, you love making faux rice paper. It is definitely really fun. Let me make sure I didn't skip over any questions. Let's see, Joy. I live in a small senior community and not one craft. Oh, you're saying, Joy, you're saying that, no one crafts there. I can't get the lid on. Just really messing with this lid. Yeah. My grandma lived in a little senior community, and they had the biggest activity room, and they would do crafts all the time, but that's a bummer that no one does at your place. Let's see. There are a lot of crafting groups on Facebook. You are right, Maddie. Hi, Genevieve. Hi, Laurel. Whoops. I'm always so thrown off when you tell me the days of the week, Laurel. It's Friday for you. How is that even a thing? It's Thursday here, but I know. Yes, this is a great project for your napkins, for sure. Okay, I think I'm caught up on the comments. So I'm going to set this aside. Like I said, I'm going to let it dry overnight. If you just hopped on, I will show you one of the final, I'll show you what it looks like when it's actually done. But I need to put this somewhere safe. Okay. We'll let that dry over there. I have like a whole little file thing here of some finished ones. It is a very fun project. You should give it a try. Lisa, I was confused. Oh, you were confused with her saying it was Friday? Yeah. Well, she doesn't live here. Whoops. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Okay, so here's some of the final faux rice paper. So you can see how sturdy it is, kind of. I mean, you can hear how crinkly it is, but like I was trying to say, the back side gets this like kind of a plasticky layer. I don't even know. I don't know if you'll see it, but anyways. So yeah, it's pretty fun to use in your journals. I definitely have lots of it here. Whoops. I've had it just folded together forever. And sorry if you're just hopping on because I just got done, but you can watch the replay. I'm just showing some of the final pieces from a different time that I did this. Definitely kind of stuck together, but once you get it, I probably didn't let these dry all the way too, knowing me. So here. So these ones were fun because I put I used spray inks. But anyways, okay, so let's set this aside. We're done with the faux rice paper for now. I'm just gonna jam that in there. Just jam it in. Why not? And now we're going to make some little journaling card, collage journaling cards. And for the base, I'm just gonna use, should I use book pages? Maybe I will. I have some like glossy book pages that I don't ever use. I don't ever use this book. Let's try that for our base. We're just gonna make some collage journal cards. And I also have a new texture paste from Tim Holtz. I got it on clearance yesterday at Craft Warehouse, but it's texture paste sparkle. Got it for $2, so we might use that. I never know where to put my phone so I can read the comments, but we'll just like that. So, sorry if you just hopped on and you wanted to see the faux rice paper, but that was just a quick little project. Yeah, so we're gonna just get a few pages. We'll just get like 2. Well, Eric, if you live in the Pacific Northwest, go to Craft Warehouse because there's tons of clearance Tim Holtz items. In fact, I did a shop with me video yesterday. It'll be up in a couple days, and there are tons of dollar clearance items. In fact, what did I get? I was so tempted to buy a ton of it, but I didn't. So I'm going to do a little giveaway in Patreon. It is Christmas stuff, but like this stamp set, $1. There were so many things that were $1. I was really close to like buying way too much, but then I was like, no, that's stupid. I don't need to do that. But there are so many good dollar items at Craft Warehouse, but I know that not everyone lives near one. I think they're just in Oregon and Washington. Okay, I'm going to cut these pages down to like 6 inches, I think. Yeah, something like that. 6, we'll do 4 by 6. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, a virtual paint and sip night. That's fun. That's fun. I always want to do, or for a while I've always wanted to come on in the evenings and like drink wine and do some kind of a craft project with you guys, but I haven't. All right. All right. So I gotta clean up around me. Actually, you know what? We're gonna use this. Okay. So I'm just using old book pages, 4 by 6. That's gonna be the base of our journal card. Now, the reason why I initially wanted to make the faux rice paper is I was wanting to use it in these journal cards. But since those have to dry, I'll just use up some of the faux rice paper that I already have done. But then I also want to use some sewing tracing paper because these are kind of like sewing themed. Oh, I don't want to forget. I also wanted to do a project with this new wax seal stamp. There we go. I'm going to use, I'm just kind of like all over the place, you know. Hi, Katie. All right, so let's see, can you kind of see what I'm doing? I am going to start by just adding glue. I could just use this Mod Podge, but you know what? No, not gonna. I'm gonna use my trusty Tombow Mono Aqua glue because I feel like anytime that I use Mod Podge in a project like this where I'm putting glue all over, I just feel like it wrinkles up so much for me. I don't know. I know that Mod Podge, it's a water-based glue, so I think that's why, but I feel like this must be a water-based glue, is it? I don't know, but I don't have any issues ever. So anyways, I'm gonna cover this in glue and I'm kind of spreading it out evenly with my finger. Then we're gonna take our pattern sewing paper and I'm just gonna place it over the top. We're gonna have a few layers, so I'm not worried about the book page showing through. In fact, I think it will look kind of fun. And I'm just doing this like the quickest way, which is why I just put it straight down onto my paper, but then I'm gonna cut around it. I'm not gonna worry about cutting it perfectly right now because I'm adding some other layers that will likely hang over the edge as well. Okay, so we'll just, and I'm gonna save all those little pieces because we can use those to collage on as well. So now I'll take some of my faux rice paper. Actually, let me get some that has a design on it. Yeah, we'll use this one right here. And I am going to just like tear off a piece because now I'm just gonna add smaller layers, kind of. Yeah. So now we can see how the faux rice paper does on a project like this, because I'm not sure if it's going to give a different texture or if it's going to be just the same thing as if I were going to be gluing a napkin right on to the page. But I think it has a different texture because it's like, it's more crinkly and it's like thicker, but it's still transparent. Wait, transparent, is that the word I was looking for? Huh. Yeah, I think so. Okay, gotta make sure to add lots of glue because there are tons of wrinkles and I want to make sure it's glued all the way down as flat as possible. messy project. What is HG? Oh, art glitter glue. Oh, I have been wanting to try that glue for a long time. But yeah, Tombow always does the job. Always does the job. Okay, so now I think I'm going to add like some vintage book pages, but here, this is what we're working with. It looks just kind of messy right now, but we're gonna add some stenciling as well. Let's see, I want some rather thin book pages, so I have this dictionary that has really thin vintage pages, and I think I'm gonna some of that. Look at this, guys. Look at this. You see this dictionary? It's large and in charge. Okay. I'm just gonna grab a page from here. Wait, have I used this before? It kind of scares me to rip pages out of there. So maybe I'm not going to. So instead I'm going to use an encyclopedia page. No, am I? I don't know. Yeah. I feel better about using these book pages. And I'm just tearing random pieces off here. We'll glue this on, and then we're going to do some stenciling over the top of all of this. There we go. And I feel like this ends up being way too white. Like, it stands out. But we'll add some stenciling over the top. So just tons of layers. It just, let's see, I'm gonna cut around the edges now to make it a little bit neater. And everything's all gluey. So it's just getting stuck to my scissors. Okay, so let's grab a stencil now. Yeah, that is a massive dictionary. There we go. Let's see. Okay, I'm just grabbing a stencil that I want to use. I'm not sure yet, so let's figure it out. I think I'm gonna do this one or this one. Okay, so I'm going to put my journal card down on some paper. It's getting very windy outside. So I have this stencil that has like random words. I'm thinking of using that, but then I also have this one that has like kind of like mermaid scales kind of thing. I'm going to use this one for now, actually. Okay. Oh, I've heard of Barely Art. Okay, just making sure I'm not missing any questions. You guys are talking about glues. Okay, so anyways, now I'm going to use this texture paste. It says it's translucent gloss paste with glitter flecks. And I am just going to, I thought it smells really good actually. But I'm just going to take some and just kind of go in a random spot. Let's see. I'm trying to think about where I want it to be. This is a pretty thin texture paste. It is a texture paste, right? Yeah, it is. No, I haven't entered my nose, or like, this is definitely thinner than I'm used to, so I'm not sure how I'm going to like it, but we'll see. Tim Holtz doesn't usually let us down. But, okay, I guess Now because I didn't clean my stencil before, there's like some gold flecks, but that's, yeah, it's definitely a thinner texture paste, so I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to see what it looks like when it dries, but you can see there's that. And I just feel like it's missing something. I wonder if I should do a wax seal stamp on this. Should I don't know. So I've been working with these collage journal cards for like the last few weeks, and I've just not been happy with how they're turning out. So I honestly might scrap this whole idea because I'm just not loving it, you know? Okay, so I do want to try out this wax seal stamp, so let me grab some wax. I also have a hot glue gun that I like to use for my wax seals, but I don't know where it is right now. Oh wait, is this it? Here we go. I might use this. If I have, okay, I do. So I'm gonna have to let this heat up, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this, and I don't think it's going to reach over there, so we're just gonna set it to the side. Okay, let me go ahead and put this back. And that back. That is the heaviest dictionary ever. Okay guys, so yeah. Like I said, I'm not loving these journal cards, so I think I'm gonna come up with a different idea. But what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Let's see. Maddie, you always give me a bunch of ideas. Let's see. Oh, you guys are still talking about glues. I want to do some kind of a project with the sewing paper. The sewing pattern paper, I mean. What don't I love about them? Good question. I don't know. I don't think I'm liking how the layers are looking. And I've tried it on regular paper. I've tried it on scrapbook paper. I kind of like this one, but I don't know. I just don't like the final look. I think it looks too messy. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Or it looks like a project that I would have done when I was 12, like trying to create a scrapbook layout. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it feels like to me. So, I don't know. But, anyways, let me grab. So, like I was saying, I had another idea in mind for the wax seal stamps, and I was thinking it would be cute to have the wax seal stamps on these little spools and make them into like little charms. So, I think this is heated up. I can't really bring it over here, so I'm just going to do it really quick off to the side here. And I have a silicone mold here for my wax seals, so we'll do that. And then we'll let it dry, and then, yeah, and then I'm going to use my brain to figure out what else I want to make. And okay, I need to put the lid back on this. I really also don't like working with Mod Podge. So, there's that. Maybe I'll do something with the faux rice paper though. That's an option. I do like making the faux rice paper. but it just doesn't feel like a final project. And yeah, let's see. There's like little things flying around that are tickling my nose. Let's see. Yeah, I like the wax seal idea. Okay, well, we're gonna let this dry and I'll see how I like it. The other thing I don't know that I love about this texture paste is instead of being white like this, okay, this was a texture paste that I had and it's white, it really shows up. But this one is more of a, I mean, it's showing up as white right now, but I think it dries clear and then you can just see the sparkles. So it might be cute, but yeah, I don't like these, so we're not doing that anymore. Maybe I will, maybe I'll do something with little mini envelopes. I think I'm just gonna have to brainstorm and come up with something that I love. Let's see here. Okay, just trying to see. I do have a bunch of these actually. I do have a bunch of these little mini envelopes. So maybe, let's see, what you just made would be a great tuck spot. You mean the little journal card thing? Is that what you mean? Okay, let's see if this wax seal stamp is done. I think it's still hot, but I'm impatient, so. I mean, it probably would. Are you saying that this would make a great tuck spot? I mean, if that's what you're talking about, it probably would, but I just don't like how it looks, like I was saying. It's, and I've tried so many different ways, and I'm just not loving it, so I don't really like to spend time making things that I don't like. These are cute though, these wax seals. Okay, let's see if I can show it to you. It's a little hard to see, but it's a little spool of ribbon. And then I was thinking of, where did my little paper spool go? I'll just get another one. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, that's cute. That's cute. Okay. Hi, Julie. Okay. I'm gonna just glue this on here. Yeah, this could be a cute little project. Just trying to glue it on. That could be a cute little, like, you could put a bulb pen in it and use it as a charm or something like that on the edge of a page. Let's just see. We'll leave it alone and move on. Yeah, I'm going to, because I've tried remaking those journal cards a few times now, and every time I hate them. So, but it's definitely funny how someone else can see your creations differently than you can, but if you're not enjoying it, like, I just don't like to spend my time on things that I'm not into, you know what I mean? But I was thinking of doing something maybe with these little policy envelopes. And I have some little craft envelopes too. I always love envelopes and journals, so I might just try, maybe I'll just try collaging on this. Even even though it's kind of like the same idea, but maybe I'll like it better. Let's see, Debbie. Let me catch up on some comments really quick. Ashley, you just got a bunch of supplies to do wax seals. Oh, fun. Oh, you haven't had time to try them out. Well, hopefully soon. Katie. Oh, of course you can ask about Junk Journal January. I'm not, but you know, I've been loving that series, and I've been loving watching other people do it. So yeah, definitely if anyone is doing Junk Journal January, let us know. Debbie, that's funny. Unless you're making a journal for a queen, I don't think every edge needs glue. I like it. Okay. All right. So, anyways, I'm just gonna try doing a little bit of collaging on this policy envelope. See if I like it better. I just want to do something. I want to use up this sewing pattern paper, like I was saying, which is why I was making the faux rice paper. But I need to let that dry before I make more now. Okay, just trim this. We got one layer down. Yeah, maybe I just need a blank background. Like, I was trying to do this collaging over book pages, and I just didn't really like how it was looking, so that might have to do with it. Where did my wax paper go? Use some of this rice paper. Joy. Let's see. Wait. Joy, Junk Journal January is kind of like a challenge, not a challenge. Yeah, I guess you could call it a challenge that a bunch of journal makers or people, anyone can do it really. I believe there are daily prompts that will tell you, it will give you some kind of an idea of what type of a layout to do in your junk journal. So anyone can follow along, but there are a bunch of YouTubers that make videos showing different ideas and giving inspiration. And I believe Meg Journals is the one who does it. Meg Journals? Let me go see real quick. I think she's the one who hosts it, I guess. I'm not too sure on that, but maybe someone will know. Oh, maybe it's not her. I know she's making videos on it, but let me see. But there are a ton of fun videos out right now. I can't find it, but maybe someone will know. Let's see. Meg's Journals, yeah, okay. I thought so. Hi, thank you, Melinda. I don't know why I said hi. I think I like the little envelopes much better. Yeah. So even with 2 layers, kind of like that. This is more where I was going with it. But I do feel like I need some book pages. In fact, maybe I will use, this is from one of the sewing patterns. Maybe it makes sense to use this instead of a book page. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Okay. It's funny how one little difference can make all the difference in a project like this. And maybe if I add some ink around the edges. And I think I'll still try some stenciling on this one because I'm definitely liking it a lot better on the policy envelope. And then I also feel like having a little envelope is a little bit more functional in a journal anyways, or it's easier to use than just like a journal card, which I guess that could go either way because you could use a journaling card however you want. So let's see, I'm going to go ahead and get those stencils back out. And I'm going to go ahead and use this texture paste, but I'm going to add some color to it. So I'm going to use I'm going to use some Tim Holtz Distress Oxide Spray. Oh, actually, I know what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to use the stencil. Not too much. And then I'll spray the ink, which will then kind of color the texture paste. Couldn't think. I definitely wish that this texture paste was a little thicker, but if you've used this Tim Holtz texture paste, let me know. Is there a way that you really like using it? It smells so good. It's kind of fruity, which is really weird. Bye, Joy. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, so now, okay, yeah, I definitely like this so much better. So, and it's funny because it's exactly the same idea as the journal cards, but for some reason I just like it so much better. And I'm going to spray a little bit of this and try not to get it everywhere. Like I just did, but that's okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah. So, there we go. And that's just a little policy envelope. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with this. So this is, unless I change my mind, this is what I'm going to be including in the Patreon. I think this is the rose or orchid tier. I can't quite remember and I don't want to say for sure. Yeah. I think I'm also going to make some wax seals over here off to the side. I'm wondering if I have, but wax seals are tricky for sending in the mail because they're a little too dimensional, so I don't know if this will get included in Patreon, but there we go. So now that I have this down and I know I like this idea, I'm going to do this in more of an assembly line style. So I'm going to move all of this to the side because I'll do all of that at once. And it's about to get messy. I'll save these for a different day. Okay, how many do I need to make? That's a good question. Probably, let me see. And also, I'm probably going to end this live in just a minute. I feel like I gotta turn some music on and get into it. Let's see. I think we're gonna do, let's see. Okay. So 62. 1, 3. Yeah, I'm just gonna be doing a lot of counting, but okay. So I don't think I have enough policy envelopes to do this for the rose and orchid tiers, so I think I'm going to make some of them on these little policy envelopes and then some on these little craft envelopes, and I think that I think I'll like them both that way. So, okay guys, that's it. I'm going to move on to a different project now. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Tomorrow I'll show you the final faux rice paper. I'm going to be using the rice paper on these as well, but for now I'm just going to use the rice paper that I already have done. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. And ooh, coffee at Disney. I want coffee in Disneyland. Anyways, okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.